Hey guys, it's Brian with Retired at 40. It's been a crazy last month between the COVID-19 coronavirus pandemic, and we're about 2 weeks from listing our house because we're retiring. Also, my channel hit 50,000 subscribers and 4 million total views, which I never thought was even possible. I wasn't really ever trying to make a thing of this YouTube thing when I started doing it 3 years ago. But big shout out to all of you who helped me achieve that. I'm also sitting in a moving truck with 80 to 90% of my life belongings that I've acquired through life because I'm getting ready to move 2 states away. So I figured now was as good a time as any to give you an update on the Retired at 40 story. And one of the biggest steps that we were able to do to achieve retiring at the age of 40 was making $400,000 tax-free. And I'm going to show you how you can make $400,000 tax-free. As long as you're an American citizen, you live in America, anyone can do it. So if you haven't figured it out today we're talking about real estate. There's no other way to make that much money tax-free besides real estate. So I'm going to give you our story and how we did it, and just given the way things are going lately, we might hit another mini recession or maybe a full-blown recession, and you might have a chance to do it again. So let me give you a little background on this house right here. We've lived here for about 13 years. When we bought it, it was 2008, and the market was absolutely terrible. So terrible, in fact, that this house sat on the market for about 6 months, and we put in several offers on it. We went back and forth with the bank quite a bit. Their asking price was $350 at the time, which sounded pretty outrageous, but we ended up getting it after going back and forth. We ended up getting for $312,000. The house was built in 1978 and it needed a lot of work. It was completely overgrown. The bank had completely stripped the inside because it was so disgusting, which ended up being a huge positive for us because we had a blank slate. We could just go in and do what we wanted. It sits on just over 2 acres and it's really close into town, so you get the country feeling, but we're in the city still, which is great. It's real hard to come by those types of properties now. So that was 2008. Fast forward to we've probably spent about $60,000 to $70,000 on this house, which sounds like a whole bunch of money, but the scale of what we have done to this house, it's actually pretty inexpensive. That's $60,000 to $70,000 in materials. And then my labor was of course free. And then we did have to hire some subcontractors for things that I can't legally do, like electrical, plumbing, the panel, things like that. On the plus side, we got this house for a great deal. Even at the time when the economy was terrible, the market was completely crap. People in Denver area were not willing to spend $350,000, especially for a house that needed everything. And when I say this needed everything, I mean it needed everything. Every single part of this house at least one time. The kitchen, we redid all the bathrooms. We redid the roof, the windows, all of the floors, put in an air conditioner, we put in a furnace, we put in a water heater, we poured a patio in the back. There was no landscaping to speak of, and we put all the landscaping in. The driveway was gravel when we moved in. We put an asphalt driveway in. I could go on and on. Even with the $312,000 purchase price back in 2008, even with the $60,000 to $70,000 in materials, and even with paying subcontractors, the estimated value of this house, when it's all said and done, is about $775,000. So what in the heck makes this thing worth $775,000? Well, first off, the Denver market has just completely exploded in the last 5 years, and stuff has just gone through the roof for values. The second reason this house is valued at what it is that it's a very unique property, being that it's country feeling on an acreage, but it's very close to the city and suburbia. Number 3 is this was built in the late 70s, and most houses that were built back then are very chopped up. They're very almost unusable without doing a whole bunch of work. And between what we have done in this house and the way that it was laid out, you would never know that this house is as old as it is. The other thing that makes this house so valuable is it has pretty incredible outdoor space. Over my shoulder is about an 1,800 acre lot that is completely undeveloped. It also has unobstructed views to downtown and unobstructed views of the mountains all along the Front Range. The reason why we're doing the floors in this house, it's kind of the last piece of the puzzle to this house, and as the clock is ticking and we're getting closer to listing this house in order to retire and move, this is kind of our last hurdle, and we want to be able to get the maximum amount of money out of this house. And this house is so unique because of where it is and the type of property that it is, that certain little tweaks here and there can really boost our value. So I've been pulling loads and loads and loads of tile out of here. It's probably going to end up being 4 or 5 tons of tile. So the house is an extremely huge mess right now because basically like 75% of this house is tile. Let me show you how much tile is in this house. Entryway is tile. Kitchen is all tile. Dining room I've already ripped out. It was tile as well. That's all coming out. Laminate is coming out. Bathroom is all tile. So is the shower. My wife didn't know I was tearing this out today. She'll probably get over it once she sees there's a new pretty shower in here though. If you're ever curious how strong your marriage is, tear apart about 75% of your house and start remodeling. And then rip apart your wife's bathroom. This lower living room is all laminate. And I just put this in like 3 years ago. Guess what? It's coming out. Started the laundry room. It's coming out as well. Let's see what's downstairs. You guessed it. Tile. So if I had to guess, I would say there's probably about 2,300 square feet of tile and laminate that need to come out. The tile I can't salvage and use somewhere else, but the laminate I will actually use in one of our rentals. So I'm getting ready to tear this tile out in the entryway, and I'm trying to teach the kids the value of $1, and the harder you work, the more money you can make. So I told them for each tile that they carry out to the dumpster that I would give them 5 cents and possibly a raise at the end of the day. So we're gonna see how long they can do this for. Doing a great job. I changed it to 10 cents because I felt bad for them. They're working really hard.
Really bad.
Nice job, bud.
I was just like a bottom and the bottom of this.
All right, well, I got the kitchen torn out. The entry is torn out. The dining room is torn out. So the last thing that needs to happen is the laundry room, and then I just need to clean up the basement floor, and all the demo is done. And it seems like it has been forever. It's taken me about 3.5 days so far. So just to kind of recap, we bought the house for $312,000. We paid $70,000 in labor, materials, subcontractors, all the stuff to get this house up to the place it's at right now. So we're also gonna have about $21,000 in realtor fees. And the reason why it's only $21,000 is because my wife is a realtor, so normally it would be twice that. So in Colorado, it's 2.8% of the sales price for each side, the buyer's agent and the selling agent. And then we'll have a small, probably around $1,500 title fee for title insurance. So that brings us to $370,500, which is pretty close to $400,000. I mean, no one wants to watch a video that says how to make $370,500. We'll go with 400. Okay, so you've got $370,500. Now you've just opened yourself up to this massive capital gains tax, right? No. In America, if you own a home for 2 years or more, or you've lived in a home for 2 out of the last 5 years, so if you have a rental that you've rented for 3 years, but you've also lived in it for 2 years, your capital gains are basically just wiped out, completely tax-free. And that includes profits that you've made on a home up to a huge amount. And for most of us, you're never going to make that much profit on a house unless you bought a house in California like in 1950 or something. So our house is free and clear, and it's been free and clear for a while because we've always taken our profits and we've put it back into our real estate, which most of our profits have always been from real estate. So we just roll the profits into the next property, which has definitely allowed us to retire at 40. So the next question is, what are we going to do with that money? Well, we're buying another house. So we've already agreed to a purchase price in a house that we're moving into. The price on the new house will be $425,000. So what are we going to do with the extra money? Well, in order to find that out, you're going to have to stick around for some more Retired at 40 vlogs. In the meantime, this is Retired at 40. Remember to live life simple. We'll catch you next week.